I'm not sure how I can stop you, but go ahead.
Just for fun. She,
I don't, okay, I'm going to stop you about that. You know,
she indicated,
I don't, hang on just a second.
I just want to see her
just
response.
Stop for a minute.
Oh.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know, actually that throwaway comment actually tells me quite a lot. There.
Yes, we live in the same, it's like a shared home almost. I guess you could say it's like a duplex almost.
And so, Ms. Myers, I'll start with you. Could you raise your, and again, I should say, as far as I know, no relation. She has the same last name as I do, but I'm not related to her, I don't think. And so you raise your right hand, ma'am. You swear and affirm the information testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down. How is it you need an order against Ms. Adams?
So there has been so many instances where I have just felt like she's been coming to my window, yelling through my window, and I have just kind of been putting up with it. I wasn't sure what to do, so I called the cops because she had been yelling through my window one night and I was ignoring her, and she's screaming and yelling about my cat. And my son was laying on the couch and he started crying. So I noticed that it started to like affect him because he got scared. So then I called the cops and
What is she yelling?
She's yelling, "You need to come get your cat. It's cold outside. They need to come inside." And yelling like, "I'm going to call Animal Protective Services or whatever." She seems to be super concerned about my animals, or she's calling my animals a lot. And I've told her to just leave them alone. This was in the middle of the night. So I called the cops. I just had told them. What do you
mean by the middle of the night? The middle of the night can be 6:30 at night to someone. Some other people, the middle of the night's 2 a.m.
It was dark. So, but it wasn't like 2 a.m. I want to say it was like 7 o'clock at night because my son was still up. So when
How many animals do you have? You said my animals, and then I heard about a cat. You have more than one animal?
I do. I have 3 cats.
Okay, continue on. Sorry.
That's okay. So I contacted the police and I told them that this has been something that I just like, I'm not sure what to do. She's yelling through my window. She's scaring my son. And it's gotten to the point where I feel like I can't like open my blinds. I have to cover windows. She doesn't really listen when it comes to me just saying like to leave me alone. At first I told them, I was like, I don't have like any proof. I'm like, this has all been like verbal. And they're actually the ones that like told me to get an anti-harassment protection order. Cause they're like, if she's just saying these things and you get that protection order, then that means that when you call, then we can actually do something.
Things go, it sounds like I read some of your, I mean, you had some texts from other people. It sounds like things started off well, or at least not bad.
Yeah, they were okay. My friend doesn't even want to come over with their kids because she's like, oh, she's going to come yell at us, or my son is like, she'll tell me stuff about the cat. And she's like, even direct.
Nozzle back?
I did. She gave it back to them. So she did say that she took it. And so that's like the thing too, that I'm like, I don't understand. So it's just been an ongoing issue.
Let me hear from her.
Okay.
Ma'am, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I can put your hand down. What's your response to what you just heard?
Did you receive, this is 11 pages of my,
when did that come in?
I didn't know I was supposed to have it like a week ahead of time. I got reprimanded at the counter. I brought it in Wednesday or Thursday. It's directly to you or your honor.
Respondents exhibits. No, I did not see that, to tell you the truth. 12 pages.
Do you want to take a moment and read it? It's not really.
I do.
Okay, I'll be quiet then. And also,
I didn't. Not if it wasn't able to go through.
No, it was all handwritten, and it's there, but it was submitted on Wednesday. On the final paragraph, and I have a number of questions.
Okay.
And the first is, I'm fine with never having to interact with Bianca Meyer or her son again. However, I expect the same consideration. I do not want her, her son, her friend, or her friend's children anywhere within my sight. I don't want any of them to set foot in your yard. Isn't it a shared yard?
It's not really. The way it's situated, it's an old house. And when I moved in just a little over a year ago, and she'd moved in, and it doesn't really matter how long, but just 4 months before me, it seems to be an issue with her. So she's in the old house, and part of it goes off like here and in the back. And it was just a big room, and the landlord converted into a house, basically. So so she has the front yard. I would prefer it the other way around, but because I'm responsible for mowing the backyard. She has no entrance. She doesn't have a back door. In my contract, it says I'm responsible for mowing the lawn and taking care of the lawn, and which I broke my wrist completely in half by trying to move a branch. But not only that, it's private. How I live and move about in my apartment is private. The landlord has, I probably shouldn't mention it because it'll get repeated back. There's some gossiping going on, I've noticed, in that circle, but where he's come on the property. And we're not always, this is my home, and it's private back there. There's fence, and everybody's out there. So you walk about your home comfortable. I'm not completely following everything you're saying to me. My question to you, I think, was a pretty simple one. Okay. And that is the backyard shared? And it's not uncommon to have common areas in rental property. Like it is not in the contract. It is not in the contract.
Can you please not interrupt me, please?
I'm sorry.
I won't interrupt you either. All right. So, but is the general understanding that's a common area where, I mean, she apparently has a kid who sometimes hangs out there with friends. Is that she was telling me, and someplace else in there, that was a shared backyard. And so is that, or is that not the case in your opinion?
It is not. And also, I'm very, very disappointed, and I'm surprised that she's done this because I've been very generous to her. I've given her furniture, I've given her clothes, I've given her linen, I've taken care of her cats while she started a graveyard shift at the hospital in Tacoma. I don't believe that her son is a nervous type. She leaves him home all night long by himself. He's fine at 11. I've talked with the boy. I've offered if he's afraid, I'm right there. You can come and talk to me. I've given him a guitar. I've just been neighborly. And like I said, I took care of her cats for a couple of weeks while she got acclimated, and how I took care of them is she couldn't get them in the house and they needed to be in the house. She expects me not to speak to her cats. We're all right there together. We share a laundry room, but her cats are on top of my car. I don't mind. It's a 24-year-old car. They like to sleep on the sunroof. Pearl was there yesterday. She doesn't even want me to speak to them. And they're on my deck. And Jordan, one of the boy cats, managed to get in. He chewed his way through the pet thing that I had made and got into the house. And I have 6 cats myself, but it wasn't a friendly environment for the first 6 months when I moved in. She did not want me to go into her yard. She came out and yelled at me and embarrassed me in front of the maintenance guy. And I was just standing there asking him if I could make him a couple sandwiches for lunch. And she comes out and her friend's right there with her. And I needed to cross over to her yard to go around to the back to carry lumber. I'm not going to carry it through my house like that because I was building a pet enclosure. She has repeatedly told me she does not want me in her front yard. I'm not lingering. And I also, and I'm sorry, I mean, if the landlord could rig something else up with the faucet, I'm fine. But it's right there. I'm not, the curtains are closed a lot. And I did communicate with her through her window. Sometimes she'd sit on the couch, her and Hunter, and we'd visit a little bit for whatever the reason was. I wasn't yelling at her. I did call out to her, and I mentioned that about Pearl. She just had surgery, and it was pouring down rain, and I was leaving to go to the store, and Pearl was looking at me to get her in, and she wasn't responding. But anyway, no, we were friends. We weren't friends. I want to say we were friends, even though she helped me with some things too. I broke my wrist. She zipped up my pants for me, offered to take me to the ER. She took my cat litter in for me. She took my water in for me. And so and all of a sudden in January, I offered to have her cat. I got a $300 voucher to have Pearl fixed and set up the appointment. She was all fine with it. All of a sudden, no. That's off. I didn't. I said, that's fine. I'm not going to do any more. I won't do any more for you. And I walked out of the picture. So I'm not in it the first 6 months. I feel attacked. And then she started approaching me. She helped me dig a hole. I lost one of my cats. I'm out in the backyard digging a hole with a broken wrist. She had dug the first few holes, So we were interacting neighborly. I had told her originally, after the first 6 months, and I saw it wasn't going well, I said, look, we're going to get along one way or another because I'm not moving. And maybe that is her goal. My landlord has never come to me and said there was a problem. When she puts her arm, people will do this to us without doing this, okay? And I stay away. I've never been okay with the kids in the backyard. And this is my home. Sometimes I walk to get something in the kitchen or whatever, naked. I really don't want that to come back to the court and say I was showing myself naked to the children when I don't even know that they're out there. It is a private backyard. She doesn't have entrance through the back door. There is nothing in my contract said that it was shared. And for the first year, but the kids didn't go back there. And all of a sudden one day I come home and why should I have to put up with all these other kids that don't even live there in my backyard screaming? I'm not a well person as it is. I have a lot of health issues and I need peace and quiet in my own home. And that's all I'm asking for. I can stay away from her. I don't need to anything. And I won't. This is not reconcilable at all. I'm really hurt by her because I've given her nice furniture and other things. I've just tried to be neighborly with her, and I'm really disappointed that she has felt that she needs to do this. The nozzle, it happened more in the apartment I lived in. Somebody took my nozzle, cut the end of the hose. So that's just habit. She knows I was in a habit of doing that. Didn't steal anything. She goes on to say that I stole her possessions. What possessions? It was the nozzle. And I've got had a heart attack, 10 o'clock at night. I've got 2 police officers at my door. I've got a family too. And I'm thinking something's happened to them over a nozzle. She knows all she has to do is ask me. I did get upset because when I went to the window, because the kids were out playing when I came home that day, and it's all in here. And I asked, I just talked to the window, and her friend was standing right there. There's no sense in knocking. They're probably not even going to come anyway, to tell her friend to tell the kids to quiet down. Because that's all. And her son was not present. He was in the backyard when I went there, because it's right there. And he was there when I went back. She's lying to you. She's lying to the court.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Yeah, give me a minute here.
She's saying that the yard isn't shared. I just wanted to make sure, because I'm like, if it's not shared, then I won't have Hunter go back there. And he said, no, the backyard is shared. He said that it's an open area. He's like, why would there be that big backyard if your son couldn't play in it? There was even toys. There was even a house back there that he put back there for my son to play with. In regards to her saying that she has been generous, I know that she is elderly. I know that she's older. I try to be polite, and I just have been trying to be nice. So yes, of course, like when she asks me for help or when she wants alone and I won't have any contact with her. We tried that with the cat and it just escalated and got worse. So that's why I'm at the point where I'm like, if this doesn't go through, is it going to make me to the point where I'm going to have to move because she says that she's not going to talk to me or leave me alone? But I feel like since that, it has escalated because that last incident where she was yelling through my window, calling me a bitch, she literally was like, "You're a bitch. Do you want to fight?" Like she literally was yelling that through my window. My friend was there too, and I sent you the document of when she said that. Like that, it's come to the point where it's just too much. My landlord already confirmed that it's a backyard that is shared. He's already confirmed that. And he's been here when the kids were in the backyard. He has been here present and he's never approached me and he did not say they need to go in the front because that's her backyard. And if I need to get like a letter or something from the landlord, I can also do that because I know that he has talked to her. And he, even in that, I sent you a text message from him as well, even saying like, I'm going to talk to her. She needs to leave you alone. Like he's been aware of it.
Go ahead. I'll hear from you, ma'am.
There's a video.
Yes. I mean, it's very short. I don't think it shows
What
me that
is
much.
it of? Am I calling her out to fight with the broken wrist?
No,
I'm
there's
70
no-
years
as
old.
far as I
I
can-
don't do that.
Okay. So,
That's a lie.
okay.
But if it's on the recording and I
Well,
don't know what, and maybe I'm out of my mind or something.
You know, earlier you had said like the landlord favors her. What did you mean by that?
He does, excuse me?
What did you mean by that?
He does favor. He was, all right, here's an example. She requested an immediate protection order. The day that, I'll get to that, because he was screaming at me about her being out there. So she ordered.
The landlord was screaming at you.
The landlord was screaming at me. And I said, "You're showing favoritism." So she filed a immediate protection order on May 5th. You've read this. On the next day, I'm standing on my deck. The landlord had come out because there's a problem with the raccoons. So he's out in the backyard too. She comes out around her house. So she's coming around the back. And so there's this opening between the fence and the house. And she's standing there with her friend, and I'm on the deck, and she's faced toward me and giving me the dirtiest looks. She's provoking me. And then she's leaning into her friend, whispering. And I told the landlord, she's standing right there provoking me. This is I have no privacy here. So she did that. And then exactly 6 days later, the maintenance guy, I guess, brought his girlfriend. I've never had a problem with them. When I first moved in, I didn't know. The landlord doesn't give you any notice. He's just all over the place. But I'm standing in my kitchen. I'm going, "Who's this guy in my backyard?" I yelled out, "What are you doing in my backyard?" That was the end of it. That was all it was. But she's made more out of it than it is. She's adding things to things and blowing them up to make a case for herself, and she's lying. So again, so the maintenance guy comes over. He's got his girlfriend. This was May 12th, 6 days from. She needs that immediate protection from me. I can see that the maintenance guy, he was mowing my little lawn, part of my lawn, what I cut out for myself. And his wife was there, I guess, her girlfriend, and over by where she was at, she was hiding there between the house and the fence, gossiping. That's what she's doing. I've had nothing to do with her. Since January, when she declined my offer to take the cat to the vet because she told me she didn't have any money to pay for Pearl to get fixed because Pearl had gotten pregnant twice. The cats are all over the place. I don't know how she expects me not to talk to them or have anything to do with them. They're all over the place. Then I told her I was leaving from my house. It was going to the store. It was pouring down rain, and I could see her in there. I don't go to her window. And I had gone to her when we were talking a couple different times. If I went up to her, I can't help it that the nozzle's by her window. I don't even look at it now, But I had left that night, it was pouring down rain, and Pearl was she was all over the place trying to get in the house, and she couldn't get her attention. And I said, Pearl needs to come in. I'm not screaming. I'm at my car in the driveway. And she ignores me. And I could tell that she heard me.
So, ma'am, I'm just going to stop you for a second, but I frankly feel like you're raising a voice at me.
I'm not raising it. I'm absolutely not. I'm upset that I'm being accused and that she's making it sound like more than it is. This is me. When I get upset, I'm going to get a little bit loud. And she's lying. She's just lying. She's trying to use this to try to get me evicted is what she's trying to do.
What's the situation with your cats, ma'am, Ms. Meyer?
Yes. I rescued Pearl, the one she was talking about, and she got pregnant. I couldn't afford to get her fixed. She's fixed now. She offered to help me with it, and I was like, sure, like that would be great. But she wanted me to put up like $300 and something, which is a lot for me. So I ended up just finding somewhere where I could do it for 90. And so then I told her that. I just simply said, I scheduled something else and it's $90, and that was the end of it. And she was like, I could tell she was upset. She's like, don't ask me to help you anymore. Like, don't ask me to help you. And then she left, and I was just like, okay. My cats are outdoor and indoor cats. They'll come and like meow at the door when they want to come in. So then I'll let them in. There was no issues with the cats just like roaming. I have friends that have indoor and outdoor cats. It's pretty normal. And then at night I get them in here. The only reason that I feel like they're even by her door or by her car or they go out into her porch is because she puts food out there. So she talks about like a raccoon issue, but she puts food out in the front and in the back. And her cats are only indoor cats. So of course it's going to attract animals, or my cats are going to go over there and eat the food that she puts out. I have like talked to the landlord about that as well, because he did come to me the day that she's talking about, like where she said that the landlord was yelling at her. My son and my friend's kids were in the back. So we just went out there to look at them because we know that she will talk to them or she'll yell. So when I went out there, I looked at the landlord and she seen me look at her. I wasn't staring her down. And so then she starts to yell and says, she's staring me down. Don't you see her? She's staring me down. And then that's why the landlord raised his voice, is because she was yelling. So then he yelled and he said, she's not doing anything. She can look wherever she wants to look. And then he says, like, that's why he raised his voice. So he wasn't directly yelling at her. He was yelling because she was yelling and he was trying to de-escalate the situation. I wasn't going back there to provoke her. I just wanted to make sure that she wasn't going to talk to the kids, because the kids will come in here and you know how it is with like 8-year-olds and 11-year-olds. They will tell you every single thing that everybody is saying. They'll tell you every single thing. So that's why I was like, I don't want them to see anything. I just don't want them to be around like the dysfunction. My son has never been around people yelling at him like that, so he's not used to it. I know that right now it sounds like it's like so much like she said, like a he said, she said situation. And that's what I was afraid of. And that's what I talked to the cops about. Because I was like, so far, it's just been so many verbal things. I have no intention of trying to get her evicted. That's not why I'm doing this. I just want it to be something where I know for a fact that she's not going to talk to me or talk to my son. The window, she says that she comes, like she literally is saying, I come and talk to her through the window. That isn't a normal behavior. I've lived in apartments. I've lived in duplexes. I've never had neighbors come and talk to me through the window. They will knock on my door, and if I don't answer, I don't answer. And then that's that. And if they want to see me, or they'll leave a note or something, but it's never, I feel like she's saying even her saying like I come to her window or like it's just getting to be too much. So I know, and I've talked to the landlord, he doesn't favor me. I think it's because of the way that I speak to him, and we both hold respect for each other, that he is speaking to me the way that he's speaking to me. I've never had any issues. I've never had to call him for anything. If there's something that needs to be fixed, I fix it.
Her getting up, she has to walk around a sectional couch. I chit-chatted with her for a second. There's nothing, I don't see anything odd or mental about that. It's just being neighborly, period. And anyway, she's literally is just taking everything. I will go back to this video. Is that lawful? I mean, it's on private property. I didn't know I was being videotaped.
It's okay to have a security camera over your front door, which is what she has.
Never saw one, and I was kind of suspicious, huh?
Doesn't mean it's not there.
Okay, but shouldn't it be posted that it's there? No. I read online that it should. Okay. Well, wow. So. Yeah, I've been wanting to get one too, but I didn't have that kind of money. Can she see me?
Can she see you?
Yeah.
From here? Yes, I assume so. She's got her camera on.
So anyway, this is just going back and forth. I am troubled about the continuing. It wasn't so. All I asked for was the kids to have the kids to quiet down. That's all. That's it. As far as her son, she's making it kind of sound like I'm kind of being a little creepy with her son. I knew that he was home the last time I knew he was home. I was out spraying the rocks and everything else off the long driveway, and I saw him in there. And I just went up there and talked to him for a minute. He shared some things about himself with me, and I'm right here if you get scared or anything. I've always been nice to him. And he had the guitar for a couple months, but it doesn't matter the length of time. My daughter came over. I didn't know that she still wanted it back because this is a sentimental thing. She doesn't even play. I was going to, and I wrote that. I was looking around for something else to replace it, but none of this is going to happen now. I'm through with her. I don't want her coming in. If the kids come back in there, and kids are loud, and little girls, they're screeching. They're like that. All this kind of behavior, standing there intimidating me. Well, I'm in my own house, or I'm on my deck enjoying my day with my cats, and her friend. Her friend's terrible. Her friend's kind of nasty. She's the one that set me off that day. That's why I called her a bitch. And the fight. Oh, well, I don't have to get into that with you. we know that's not true. Then whatever you want to do.
Thank you.
She's going to say whatever she wants to say, and boy, this is going to come back to bite her in her lifetime. Shouldn't be dishonest. She will be found out.
So, a couple of things. I previously read the definition of unlawful harassment. I'm going to do it again. Actually, hang on just a minute. Sorry. Unlawful harassment is a knowing and willful course of conduct directed at a specific person that seriously alarms, annoys, harasses, or is detrimental to such person and serves no legitimate or lawful purpose. Course of conduct must be such as would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial emotional distress and must actually cause substantial emotional distress to the petitioner. Course of conduct is a series of acts over a period of time, however short, evidencing continuity of purpose. Course of conduct includes any form of communication, contact, or conduct, including the sending and it gets in electronic communication. We don't need to do that. You know, this is these are tough cases, but on the other hand, unfortunately, we see these sorts of cases quite frequently, either apartment complexes, and as far as I can tell, these are two living establishments on the same piece of property, as far as I can tell. Is that accurate?
It is.
Can we agree on that?
It is.
And so, apparently there's a shared back, again, Ms. Meyer told me this is a shared backyard. You say there's nothing in their contract about that. But Ms. Meyer has indicated that the landlord has indicated that's a shared backyard. And that makes sense to me, given the description of the premises. On the other hand, orders of these sorts, in such confined areas, can be problematic. They can be difficult to enforce. They can create all kinds of things about whether or not, does this violate the order or not? If there's distance restrictions, don't come within X amount of feet and all that sort of stuff. And Ms. Meyer comes and she's listed a number of things that Ms. Adams was alleged to have done. And again, you're right in the sense, and Ms. Adams is right in the sense that, yeah, just talking to someone through their window, yeah, that's not a problem. People do that when you walk by. Oh, yeah, how's it going? And that's one characterization of the communication between the conversation through the window. On the other hand, Ms. Meyer says, no, she comes and stands at my window and berates me and tells me all the things I'm doing wrong with regard to the cats and my child, I should say, it's not children, and the kids are in the back and all this sort of stuff. And so one person's conversation is another person's, for lack of a better word, harassment. And, and I kind of have to judge this based on, I judge it on a lot of things, what's been submitted, evidence, and the testimony of witnesses and evidence combined with how people behave in court and the manner in which they present themselves. And so you had indicated earlier, I can do what I want. And yes, thank you. I do have the discretion to enter an order that I feel is appropriate. And
may I say one last thing? And then I'll leave you alone.
I'm not sure how I can stop you, but go ahead.
Just for fun.
I'm going to stop you about that.
She indicated.
Hang on just a second.
I just want to see her response.
Just stop for a minute.
Oh.
Listen to me.
Okay.
Okay. So, actually that throwaway comment actually tells me quite a lot. This isn't fun. This isn't fun for her. I don't think it's fun for you. It's not very much fun for me to sit there and listen to two people who live next to each other and are going to continue to live next to each other. So when you say things like, well, this is just for fun, kind of tells me how seriously you're taking it. Now, go ahead. You wanted to say something? Go right ahead.
Well, I that just kind of popped out of my mouth because I'm bewildered about this, that anybody would say something about another person like this. But I see, because she does like to gossip. I'm curious as her explanation of she checked that I tried to kill myself. Did we get a response for that? Because I did indicate I couldn't understand it for the longest time, and I wanted to respond to that. And so I Googled it, and there is an explanation of why somebody would start that kind of a rumor. And I would like to hear why she would check that on that thing.
Ms. Meyer, go ahead.
I'm not exactly sure what she's talking about.
Okay, so hang on just a minute. Let me look at your petition. I assume that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm not putting any out since he was here. He's in Florida right now.
Let me ask you, why would you do that?
The food?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's cat food. I have 6 cats.
Right.
And
I'm told they're all inside, though.
Yes, my cats are inside. That's why
why would you put cat food outside?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
And they're not allowed outside. They just have the enclosure on the deck. But they're spoiled. They always have a lot of food, dry food and wet food, and there's always leftover. And I don't want anything to go into the garbage. And so I put it out. Well, anyway.
So hang on a second.
Yes.
So you're saying your cats, you put that out there.
Because there's leftovers.
Okay, for leftover of your food.
Yeah.
Okay. You realize that attracts like other hang on, let me finish, please. The cats and raccoons, which are a danger to cats.
Yes.
And so that by leaving that food out there, that attracts those cat predators.
Well, I have a raccoon and some babies underneath the house now. They're tearing up underneath the kitchen floor.
Right.
And we're working on that. And I've got a mother and father possum. They're the cutest thing. I got videos on that. And I got a little gray mouse that lives underneath the house. And that little raccoon come up to the door the other day. It was the cutest thing. I have a glass window for my door, and it was like this. I haven't looked up, walking past, I haven't looked up, and it was like this. It was the raccoon, the mama. She just lost a bunch of weight. She asked them for the food.
Right.
It was so cute.
Do you understand, while raccoons are very cute, and I agree with that, those are dangerous for cats?
They already two of them.
And so
already stole one of my cats and took it and ate it. I know.
Right. So why would you put something out there that attracts them?
I know. I'm my heart's double on that. I know, because two of them did take it.
So here's where I'm at, ma'am. Based on it, again, of course, I have to make certain, I'm hearing one thing from you. I'm hearing another thing from Ms. Meyer. And I know this has probably gone on longer than either one of you would have liked, but nonetheless, here we are. And so I have to make determinations one way or the other and, make credibility assessments and then just make a decision based on everything that I've presented. And for what I'm going to do basically is, I do find that and maybe you didn't realize it, and maybe you do now, that your behavior and the interaction between you and Ms. Meyer has gone beyond what one would perceive as normal and does go into harassing behavior. So an order is going to be entered, and the only parameter of this order is, like a lot of times we have, don't engage in stalking behavior, which really isn't the case. Can't do a distance restriction, because I can't enter an order that makes you leave or anything like that. You're just not to contact her or her child. Don't communicate with her. Don't do anything. Some of the things you say, I don't necessarily find to be, you might think that she was provoking you, but I can't make any finding that she did anything to provoke you. She was just out there and she gave me a mean look. Well, I just don't look at that as being provocative. And also, it makes sense to me that that's a shared yard, and that's a big yard that, kids are going to play in. And kids, you have at least one child you mentioned.
I don't have any children.
I thought you said your daughter owned the guitar. Was I wrong?
No, my children are in their 50s. I'm 70 years old.
Well, but they're still your children. And when they were young, I'll bet when they played, they made some noise. And so my point being that if you have experience raising children. And when children play with friends outdoors, that sometimes can be loud. And that's just goes with the territory of kids playing. And so, and that's, again, I'm just saying that just for the purpose of saying that. So the order is going to be entered. It's going to be in one place, and you're just not to. And by the other point I was going to make, these cats are Ms. Meyer's responsibility. And she's the one who needs to look after them and all that sort of stuff. And you're not the. And so you just need to remember that and let her take care of her own cats. However, if she's doing something wrong or what have you, that can be up to other people, but you're not to be responsible or worried about her cats. You understand that?
I quit feeding them.
Okay. And so that's where it's at, and it'll exist for 1 year. And that's where we're at. Do you have any questions at all about what this order is going to say?
I'm still concerned about her and her friend standing out in the backyard and trying to intimidate me. I really, truly am. Her friend is not a pleasant person at all.
Your Honor, can I say something?
No, I don't think you should at this time.
Okay.
I'm going to say something, though. And that is, her friend isn't here. And, people are going to be able to stand where they're allowed to be. They can stand in the shared backyard. You can too. And you're just not to talk to each other. And if you have an issue with her friend, you can, you can take whatever steps that are necessary to deal with that. But that's, I'm not this order doesn't going to govern who she can have over and all that sort of stuff. And if they start doing something, harassing to you, you can bring it back and we can talk about that. But her friend's not here. She's not part of this right now. Good. I hope so.
I do.
And I hope that if you two can stay away from each other and leave each other alone, things will calm down and everybody can live peacefully in their own place.
What you gonna do about cats? They're all over. I'm not feeding them, but they're on my deck. They're on the roof. They're on top of the car, and I quit feeding them. I know they want to eat, but I said no. I'll get in trouble. It doesn't want me to talk. How do you not talk to cats?
Okay. There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
Well, thank you. Because I don't want the cops to have to waste their time to come out and do that, and I don't want to run over the poor Pearl while she's underneath my car. I love them. I love the cats. And I'm not feeding them. I'm trying to get a raccoon to come out underneath the house so we can trap her with the babies and be done with it. And I'm not going to put food out after once I get the raccoons out.
Have you talked with your landlord about the raccoons?
Yeah, we're working on it. He actually had, when the maintenance guy bring a trap, he didn't set the trap up right, but yeah, that's the problem because he never goes back to check on it, and you can't leave her.
Raccoons can present issues for humans as well.
Huh? Yes, after. Oh, we got no chocolate, but he brought it out. He didn't set up right. Whoever came out and didn't even tell me that they was trapped. You can't leave a defenseless animal trapped up in a trap and not and let it starve to death in a trap. So we're working.